My name is Branson, and my driving question is, how has baseball changed from its origination, and how does it work? Shortly after, we will watch a video on how baseball is supposed to be played and the rules of baseball. And what inspired me in this topic is that I was born with basically a baseball family. Baseball was created in Cooperstown, New York during the summer of 1839 by a guy named Abner Doubleday. Baseball was different back then. The bats were made of wagon tongue wood and they were round so you could hit the ball better. There are periods in baseball sometimes. For example, 1900 to 1919 is known as the dead ball era, a time when games were low scoring, rules were pitcher friendly, and home runs were infrequent. But the live ball era from 1920 to 1925 was noted for higher scoring games and the rise of Babe Ruth and other power hitters.
Baseball is a team sport played between two teams of 9 players. Baseball is played on a diamond-shaped playing field. 4 corners of the diamond are the home plate, first base, second base, and third base. The object of baseball is to score more runs than your opponent.
Did you know that the oldest MLB park was built in 1912, and also each MLB baseball has 108 stitches? Now I'm going to explain the pictures on my triboard. This was when I first played catcher. This is when I was pitching. That's my uncle when he was pitching. That's him sliding into second. And this over here is when I was about to bat, and this is when we won our championship, and that's my other uncle catching. Thank you for playing Market Hoot and listening to my Genius Hour.
Hi, I'm Isabella, and our driving question is, why are snow leopards endangered and how can we help them?
A snow leopard is white or gray with black spots. Their real name is Panthera uncea, and they live in the Himalayan mountains of Central Asia. The population has been decreased since 1972. There may be only between 3,920 and 6,390 snow leopards left in the wild. Why are they endangered?
Reasons that they are endangered is poaching. Snow leopards are hunted for their beautiful silvery coat, bones, and organs. Their bones and organs are used for traditional Asian medicine. 450 snow leopards are being killed each year, mainly in relation for preying on livestock, also for the legal trade or accidentally by students.
Habitat loss. Snow leopards need used areas to thrive, but expanding human and livestock populations are rapidly encroaching on their habitat. New roads, mines, and other economic developments are also fragmenting their remaining range.
Predatory killing. Snow leopards are often killed by the local farmers because they prey on livestock such as sheep, goats, horses, and yak calves. The animals which snow leopards would typically hunt, such as the argyle, are also hunted by local communities.
Climate change. The high Himalayas are warming at 3 times the global average, affecting snow leopard habitat. Conflict with communities. Herders sometimes kill snow leopards in relationships for attacking their livestock. The decline in the snow leopard's natural prey due to hunting, herds, and habitat loss, and forcing them to rely more on livestock for food, and increasing the risk of retaliatory killing.
How can we help them? Researchers empathize the need to minimize provisional threats like illegal hunting, human-wildlife conflict, and overgrazing of livestock in snow leopard habitats. Minimizing these concrete threats will help snow leopards combat the additional stress posed by climate-induced habitat change. You could also adopt a snow leopard, and that could really help them.
They can run up to 34 to 40 miles per hour. They're often called the ghosts of the mountains because they are rarely seen and spend most of their lives in solitude.
Snow leopards inhabit the highest altitude documented of any cat. Their habitat includes the highest mountain ranges across Central Asia, with altitudes up to 20,000 feet. Snow leopards have adapted to thrive in these extremely high elevations where the air has low levels of oxygen.
is Macy Lynn, and my junior sour project is what is Lusitania. The reason I chose to do Lusitania is because around the time we were doing Titanic flashcards, my dad told me a little bit about it, and I kind of wanted to learn more about it. What is Lusitania? The Lusitania is a British-owned passenger ship used to transport people. Some people thought since it was so big, then they wouldn't the German wouldn't attack it, and others thought since it was a passenger ship, then the German wouldn't attack it, but they were wrong. And what was Lusitania made for? Prior to World War I, as the only way to cross, shipping companies remained competitive as long as they offered the fastest and or most comfortable means of transport. Leonard Escott is the person who designed the Lusitania to transport people from Liverpool to New York City, Cherbourg, France, and Cork Island. The Lusitania was also able to go 25 knots. It spent 18 minutes when it sank on May 7th, 1915, 2:12 p.m. in the Celtic Sea when a German U-boat torpedoed the British-owned luxury steamboat, killing 1,195 people with 764 people surviving. Germany declared the water surrounding the British Isles a war zone, which warned ships of a submarine's presence. This break from the Naval Protocol angered and troubled the United States and European allies.
Before air travel, the departure of a great liner was considered news, and Cunard's Lusitania was the greatest, the fastest, the most luxurious liner afloat on May 1st, 1915, as she prepared to leave New York City for Liverpool.
The prevailing view was that the Lusitania was too big, too fast to ever be caught by a German submarine. And also there was this other idea that no German commander would try to sink it in the first place because it was a passenger liner.
But on May 7th at 2:10 p.m., in sight of the Irish coast, the Lusitania was struck by a German torpedo. Moments later, there was a second explosion. She sank in just 18 minutes.
The Lusitania served the U.S. True or false? Thank you for listening and playing with you.
Thank you, Macy! Hi, my name is Lily, and my junior sour question is how can I start a successful recycling program in the White Oak Middle School cafeteria? The reason I chose my junior sour is because I saw a lot of recyclables being thrown away in the trash when it should be in a recycling plant. I have a few questions that I would like to ask. Who wants to guess how much trash is being thrown away yearly? 254.
Good.
Before I started my project, Ms. LeBay suggested I find a successful recycling program before proposing this idea to our cafeteria. Ms. LeBay and I Zoomed with Frisco to get some more information. Here's our video.
On the buy-in from your staff. If you have your cafeteria on board, usually, I don't know how it works with your school, but we have a custodian that's assigned to the cafeteria the entire lunch throughout all the lunches. So I would talk to, they're gonna probably be the one that's gonna be most impacted by this.
We've got our cafeteria director. She's incredible, Lori Ferguson, and she got back with me yesterday and said she would be very interested in this.
I'm happy to say I've created my program. Does anyone have any questions? Hannah.
What stuff can we recycle?
Bottles and cans after you've emptied all the liquids, so the recycling plant doesn't have to empty it for you. Peyton.
How does recycling help our earth?
Recycling helps trash like bottles and plastic not end up in the oceans for sea creatures to eat or get stuck in.
lame.
Who is Frisco?
It's like a school just like White Oak, but it's in Dallas and it's bigger.
This might sound a little bit dumb, but when you get older, are you gonna like try to not like own a plant and try to help others and animals and the environment, but will you like try to help it and own one and recycle?
I'm gonna be a lawyer, but I would love to own a recycling plant. That'd be cool. Aubrey.
What would like the dump bucket or the bucket for the balls and stuff like? What would they look like?
They're in the corner of the cafeteria. They're already up. It's a recycling bin, just a blue bin, and then there are 2 other bins that people put their bottles into. And then there's the dump bucket here. It's just a normal recycling thing. You'll see pictures of the setup in just a minute. This could not have all taken place without the help of many people I want to thank. Lori Ferguson and all of our cafeteria workers, Miss Balboa, Seth Williams from Frisco, Mr. Gray, and most of all, Miss LaVille.
Hello, my name is Jay. My job in question is how has Spider-Man changed over the years. This interested me because I've always been a Spider-Man fan. Today I will be sharing 10 ways has Spider-Man changed. Listen carefully because we will be playing a Kahoot afterwards. At first he was more on his own. Now he teams up with other heroes to fight the villains. Years ago, he didn't realize he was such an inspiration to the Marvel characters. Now he realizes how important he is to them and is a role model. His costume has changed over the years to more of a cloth version. Symbiote madness. Turns out the black suit was an alien and Spider-Man got rid of the symbiote and symbiote bonded with Eddie Brock and turned into Venom. A. Jonah Jameson's Peter Parker's boss takes Spider-Man. Mary Jane Watson was Peter's neighbor, and the two were good friends. After Gwen's death, they would get together. Gwen Stacy was Peter Parker's first love, the prettiest girl in school. Gwen and Peter's relationship happened. It was a long shot, but the self-esteem boost that Peter gained from being Spider-Man gave him confidence to successfully pursue it and went over Gwen. Their love was wonderful and pure, but it was soon to end. Spider-Man was a mentor to other superheroes like him for years. Spider-Man kind of downed his role as an inspiration to the Marvel Universe. Comic book characters all die all the time, and Spider-Man's death was a big deal, manipulated every time by Dr. Octopus. Roblox fans make Spider-Man games. Let's play Kahoot. I hope you enjoyed the Kahoot and learning more about Spider-Man. Thanks for listening.
Hey guys, we have a super exciting Make It Real plan for today. Spider-Man's Web Slingers. I think this is probably one of the most requested projects we've ever seen on YouTube. Let's swing bigger. You touch it.
Well,
and it grows.
on.
Hi, my name is Waylon, and my genius hour is about black holes. The reason black holes interested me was because we know so little about them. So you might be wondering, what is a black hole? The black hole is an extremely dense object in space from which no light can escape, and they create deep gravity sinks. Anything that comes close, a star, planet, or spacecraft, will be stretched and compressed like putty. What sets the mass of a black hole is the size of the of the star from which it is formed. Black holes come from big stars, and big stars live fast and die young. The defining characteristics of a black hole is its incredible density. A black hole is a tremendous amount of matter crammed into a tiny amount of space. There are 4 types of black holes. The most common way a black hole forms is by stellar death, which is the end of a star's life. Stars go out with a bang in a massive explosion called a supernova, leaving behind a stellar core where its mass collapses into an infinitely small point. A black hole is born. A supermassive black hole is a black hole that has masses equal to billions of suns. These comic monsters hide at the centers of galaxies. The Milky Way hosts its own supermassive black hole at its center, known as Sagittarius A. The universe is a strange and mysterious place. It is filled with curious phenomena. The biggest mysteries will always be the black hole. I hope you enjoyed my Genius Hour.
Konnichiwa, watashi no namae wa Kei desu. My driving question is to learn things about Japan and its people and its culture, and learn 3 to 5 words in Japanese. And why is because the culture seems really cool and awesome, and the food seems very good. How people get around in Japan. One of the most popular ways is the train, and there's also electric streetcars and bicycles and scooters. Bicycles and scooters are the most common, and most people rely on cars to get around in Tokyo. The food that people eat, popular food edition. The food that people in Japan eat, popular food edition. Sushi, raw fish, or a seafood dish, but also vegetables can be used in these dainty little things. Or rice noodle rolls, very good. Bento box, lunch boxes often filled with sushi or some other Japanese food like treats and snacks. Ramen, then egg noodles, usually served in broth. Soba, buckwheat noodles, usually served in broth like ramen. Tempura, light and crispy deep fried, such as fried vegetables, fish, seafood, or meat. Teriyaki, dark sticky sauce is popularly served with meat dishes or fish dishes, and the ingredients are honey, ginger, garlic, and soy sauce. Taiyaki, sweet cake with various fillings in a cool fish shape. There is yen, that is like USA money, called a banknote. So there's like a yen coin, and there's a banknote right there. 500 yen in American money is $4.60. School in Japan. In school, nearly starting around in junior year, girls can't wear pants. So like junior year in high school, they can't wear pants. But it's changing. And they have to wear a bare-boned semi blue blouse with a skirt, and boys have to wear a black suit. Some schools have a navy blue color for the high school students, and sometimes for the middle schools have to wear the same thing. Japan is split up in 3 regions: Hokkaido, Shikoku, and Kyushu, and the other 3 writings: kanji, hiragana, and katakana. And there's a picture of Tokyo, and that's one of the castles in Osaka, and there's Hokkaido. And this is no Japanese, and this is yes in Japanese. That will be important for the booklet. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Kyo wa hanashi o kiite kurete arigatou gozaimasu.
Hi, my name is
Sydney. Start off with this presentation. I'm going to show you a link to show you how deadly hurricanes can be. And just so you guys know, that wasn't like any hurricane, that was Hurricane Wilma in 2005. How are hurricanes predicted throughout history? Storms are typically based on past occurrences and measure of factors in the climate, which typically means scientists' studies indicate that extreme weather events such as heat waves and observed changes in temperature, precipitation, storms, and flood. What can you use to predict a hurricane? You can use satellites, aircrafts, ships, radar, and other land-based platforms. What are the main causes of a hurricane? Hurricanes form over the warm ocean water of the tropics. When warm water, moist air over the water rises and is replaced by cooler air. What are some fun facts about hurricanes? Hurricanes are large, swirling tropical storms that can pack wind speeds over 160 miles per hour. It unleashes more than 2.4 trillion gallons of water. 3 is the deadliest hurricane ever was in Galveston. What are the top 3 most deadliest hurricanes? Number 3, Hurricane Wilma is the most intense tropical hurricane in history with a damage of $27.4 billion and the deaths of 25. The Great Miami was a large and intense hurricane with the damage of $100 million and the deaths of 372. The Great Galveston 1900 is the worst hurricane with the winds of 140 miles per hour. The damage caused $560 million and the deaths of 6,000 to 12,000 people. Thank you for listening. I hope y'all all had a fun experience as much as I did.
Hi, my name is Aiden. My Genius Hour topic is how can we help save the ocean, animals, and trash from the trash. This topic interested me because I know how bad it's gotten and I wanted to help. Our ocean and sea life are slowly dying because of plastic pollution. Would you want your oceans to look like this? Or like this? This would be an easy answer for some. But by the year 2050, there would be more trash than fish in the ocean. Here are some causes of ocean pollution. Toxic chemicals from industries, land runoff, large-scale oil spills, ocean mining, and littering. Some animals see trash and they eat it, and most of them die. Turtles are the most killed by plastic. And here's a quick YouTube video for y'all to watch. So like I said in the video, turtles mistake bags for jellyfish. The bag on the left and then the jellyfish on the right, you can see how turtles can mistake them easily. There's a huge patch of garbage in the North Pacific Ocean. It is so big if it was on the US, it could stretch from California to Texas. If you don't think that's huge, to fly from Texas to California, it's a 3-hour and 10-minute flight. You could watch one Major League Baseball game and still have 10 minutes to make your bed and say hi to your friends and family. It's twice the size of Texas. The solution. We all can agree that oceans are beautiful, but if we don't do something soon, all the beaches will be covered in trash. This is why 4Ocean and 4Tides are my main websites. This is what 4Oceans do. If you buy a $20 bracelet, they take out 1 pound of trash out of the ocean. I asked 4Oceans some questions. Why are y'all doing this for the ocean? We're aware of just how bad it's gotten. 2. How much trash have y'all cleaned up? B. We pulled over 12 million pounds of trash. C. What is the coolest thing y'all have found? C. We once found a family portrait and we were able to return it to them. 4. Where did y'all get the robot to clean the ocean? D. We have a team dedicated to find the best technology available to us. This is the machine or robot they use to clean the ocean. This is what fluoride tides do for the ocean. Plastic straws are among the top 10 contributors to plastic marine debris. 500 million plastic straws are used every day. Plastic straws are now banned in restaurants in 7 states. Here are some ways to help save the ocean. 1. Use a reusable water bottle. 2. Refuse disposable straws and plastic bags. Recycle properly, picking up trash at the beach, and buy plastic bags. Thank you for Tides providing the straws that me and Carson will be handing out.
Hi, I am Chase, and my driving question is, what are the top 3 NBA players? This inspired me because basketball is my favorite sport. Number 3, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem is a 19-time All-Star, and he has won 6 NBA championships. He went to college at UCLA. He was born on April 16, 1947, in New York. Kareem has played for the Milwaukee Bucks and the Los Angeles Lakers, and has also won 6 NBA championships.
Great deal of his ability on the basketball court. The greatest offensive force I'd ever seen.
Coming in at number 2, LeBron James. LeBron was born on December 30th, 1984 in Akron, Ohio. LeBron went to school at St. Mary. He led his team to 3 state titles. LeBron did not go to college after high school. He went straight to the NBA. LeBron was a number 1 pick in the 2003 draft to the Cavaliers. He was a Finals MVP and champion. He was an MVP multiple times, and his nickname is King James, and he's actually the youngest player ever to score 40 points in a game. LeBron James played for the Cleveland Cavaliers his first 5 years, then got traded to the Miami Heat, then finally got traded to the Lakers, and has currently won 1 championship and a Finals MVP with the Lakers.
Oh, James behind the back and finds Wade. What a move by LeBron James. That was spectacular. Turns it over. James keeps his dribble somehow. Irving back to James. Oh, he throws it down.
Coming in at number 1, Michael Jordan. Michael Jeffrey Jordan was born in Brooklyn, New York, February 17, 1963. Michael was drafted by the Chicago Bulls in 1984 and led them to 6 NBA championships in 91, 93, 1996 through 98. Michael had won Rookie of the Year in 1984. Michael was on the sidelines due to a broken foot. After Jordan returned, he was scoring 33 points a game. Michael was the most valuable player in 1988, 91, 92, 96, and 97, and was the Defensive Player of the Year.
Game in and game out, but against the Bulls he does. There's Jordan, he blows by Pearson, jammed it down. He blew by.
Jordan out front, pressured by Dennis Johnson. Michael on the drive, in from the right. Hesitation move to the hoop for the right. Scoop shot, good in the reverse.
Michael!
This is my third favorite quote from my favorite player, Stephen Curry. Success is born out of faith and undefined passion and relentless drive. And there is more to me than just wearing this jersey I wear. That's Christ living inside me. And my favorite one is, if you don't fall, how are you going to know what getting up is like? I hope you enjoyed my presentation.
My name is Jacob, and my driving question was, what are the different types of penguin species and characteristics about them? This topic interested me because penguins are my favorite animal, and I love all of them. Okay, penguin species and characteristics about them. There are 18 species, and I want to talk about 5 of them. First, we'll be starting with the emperor penguins. Emperor penguins are the largest penguins and dive the deepest out of all the penguins. They are only found in Antarctica. The emperor penguin can hold its breath up to 20 minutes. Unlike other penguins, emperor penguins only breed in Arctic winter. Next are the Gentoo penguins. Gentoo penguins are the fastest penguin swimmers in the world. They swim up to 22 miles per hour. They are the 3rd largest species, but are still relatively small. Gentoo penguins are the only species in the Arctic that's increasing. They prefer to swim close to land, but have been found swimming 16 miles from shore. King penguins. King penguins are said to have the ugliest babies ever. They are the 2nd largest species, only the emperor penguin is bigger. King penguins carry their egg on top of their feet at all times. King penguin babies take the longest time to mature out of all the species, over a year. On the left is the adult, and on the right is the ugly baby. African penguins. African penguins communicate with one another by calling or yelling. They live in Africa and are commonly found in zoos. Instead of blubber, African penguins keep their skin protected by a pink splotch on their eye. And every African penguin's feathers are as individual as human fingerprints. You can see the pink splotch on the little stuffed animal I have. It's really good representation. Fairy penguin. The fairy penguin is the smallest penguin in the world, measuring barely over a foot tall. These are the lightest penguins in the world, weighing just 2 pounds. And now we'll be playing Kahoot.
Hi, I'm Desiree, and my Genius Hour question is, why does the lethal white syndrome kill the horse, and how does it affect them? The reason why it interests me is because we had 2 paint horses, and one of them had a lethal white, and it died. So before we go into this, let's learn about lethal white syndrome. Lethal white syndrome is a mutation on the B receptor. It is an optional recessive trait in older horses, which means that genetic condition occurs when one variant is present on both copies of a given gene. It is a way of a genetic trait or condition that can be passed down from parent to child. There's only a 25% chance of getting a lethal white foal, so you most likely might get it. So after birth, the foal appears normal, all white, but in some cases they have some spots. So the foal's lack of nerve supply to the intestinal tract, this means the normal they just can't digest food. Signs of colic will be shown within 12 hours after birth, so you will be able to see the pain in the abdomen caused by intestinal gas or obstruction in the intestine, so you will see the horse suffer. Sadly. Physical characteristics of the foal is usually a white coat color, blue eyes, and they could have black tails and the muzzle markings. How to treat this? There's no Curran's syndrome. The condition is rapidly progressive and ultimately fatal within a few days after birth. So the best way to prevent this is not to breed the same horses again. Thanks for listening to my presentation. I hope you learned a lot about lethal whites, and
Hi, my name is Isaiah, and this is my Genius Hour. When I first started this project, the question I had on my mind was, can I successfully build a treehouse? The reason I wanted to know this is because my friends, the twins, have a really cool treehouse in their backyard, and I also really like to build. So the first thing I want to tell you about is the materials I was going to need. So I want to tell you the tools first, and then the materials. So the first tool I was going to need was a drill, because I was going to need to put some nails into the board so I could connect them together to make a treehouse. The second thing I was going to need was to make a measuring tape, because I was going to need to measure some stuff so that I could see how I needed to cut it. The third thing I was going to need was a level, so that I could see how level the treehouse was when I was building it. And then the last thing I was going to need was a saw, obviously so I could cut wood if it was too long. Now I'm going to tell you the materials I was going to need. So the first thing I was going to need was wood. Second thing I was going to need was screws. Not nails, don't call them nails, that's not what they're called. But I was going to need to, put them in there. And then the last thing I was going to need was some climbing wall handholds, which actually my sister happened to have. These are my blueprints. So this is the general treehouse with the first picture being the front with just climbing wall handholds, and the back just being the thing, and we actually, like the actual treehouse, but we actually ended up flipping that around so that it was like not facing towards the back. And that I was gonna make underneath, which we didn't end up doing because the wood was gonna like rot and stuff since it was touching the ground. So the first picture is some wood that I was gonna use, but I couldn't end up using because it would have given me splinters. And then the second one is of the climbing wall handholds, which my mom decided had to be color coded. Is some boards that I actually did use, and then the second picture is the tree before I actually built anything, and as you can see, it was pretty bare. This slide is some problems I ran into. So the first problem I ran into was my original project was just, stick some sticks in the ground and call it a fort and just be like, done. That didn't end up working out. So the second problem I had was, obviously after I was done with that original problem, I was thinking too elaborately, and it was gonna cost like $500, and obviously I don't have that kind of money. And then the last problem was obviously that cabin thing underneath, which, with the rotting wood and stuff, I couldn't do. And this is just a GIF I made. It's pretty cool. Like, this was all the photos that couldn't make it into the photo album.
Hi, my name is Melissa. My German question is, how do you become a heart surgeon? This interested me because I want to become one when I'm older. How long do heart surgeons go to college and what college they have to go to? Surgeons typically need a bachelor's degree from a medical school, which takes 4 years to complete, and depending on their specialty, 3 to 7 years in internship and residency programs. Medical schools are highly competitive. Education needed to become a cardiothoracic surgeon. Obtain a 4-year honors degree in pre-med with an emphasis on science. Attend and graduate from a 4-year medical school. Complete a 5-year general surgery residency program. What are heart surgeons called? Heart surgeons are called a cardiothoracic surgeon. They operate the heart, the lungs, and the thoracic organs. As well as performing surgery, they also diagnose and treat disease of these organs. How long is heart surgery? Heart surgery usually takes 3 to 6 hours depending on how complex the operation is. For a transitional open heart surgery, a breathing tube will be placed in your lungs through your throat. How long do heart surgeons work for? A cardiothoracic surgeons work 60 hours per week on average. A less experienced cardiothoracic surgeon may work as many 84 hours per week. How much money do they get per hour? As in January 25th, 2021, the average hourly paid for a cardiac surgeon in the United States is $75.54 an hour. How many surgeries do less experienced surgeons do a day? A cardiothoracic surgeon may perform 2 operations one day and 4 to 5 the next, depending on their patient's needs. Now I'm going to be showing you a video if you want to become a heart surgeon.
Episodes. Cardiothoracic surgery refers to surgery within the thorax, or the chest cavity. This includes surgery on structures such as the heart, aorta, lungs, mediastinum, esophagus, and diaphragm. These are the surgeons who do procedures like coronary artery bypass grafts, or CABG for short, to treat plaque buildup in heart vessels.
Thank you for listening to my presentation.
Hi, my name is Jaden, and today we're learning about who is Sean Taylor and remembering who he was. He was a player on the Washington Redskins from 2004 to 2007. He played safety and he was a 2-time Pro Bowler. Sean was first pick in the 5th round of drafts. When he got to the NFL, everyone called him Meese because he was half man, half beast. Through college in 2001 to 2003, when he started, he was one of 4 freshmen to play for his team. They won the national championship in 2001. In 2002, he became a starter for his team. In 2003, he produced a historical season during his last and final year at Miami. This season ended with multitudes of honors and awards. He was named a unanimous first-team All-American, the Big East Conference Defensive Player of the Year, and a finalist for the Jim Thorpe Award, given to the nation's best defensive back. He was ranked first nationally with 10 interceptions. Now that's a season to remember. A tragic accident. Sean was a safety and a 2-time Pro Bowler who played successfully for the Redskins in 2004 through 2007. However, a tragic accident occurred. He sadly died on November 7, 2007, at the young age of 24 years old in Miami, Florida. Eric Rivera, who was only 17, shot and killed Sean. Rivera was sentenced to over 57 years in federal prison for second-degree murder. How did the Redskins react to Taylor's death? Fans were devastated from his unexpected death. They honored him in many ways. Let's look at a few of those photos. Now we'll watch a video of Sean and how his team reacted when he died.
Every time you hear Sean Taylor's name, you just think about the heart, the passion, the love he brought to this game.
Passionate, hungry, driven, and it's between those lines, he's like everybody's enemy.
He was my man among the boys, bigger than everybody. He was faster than everybody. He just had instincts like no other.
If you see me, I always throw up 21. It's just to honor him, to praise him. That's why I wear the jersey.
The reason why we play this game when we put on the 21 jersey is because of him. That was the first guy I seen in the 21. And just to be here and representing this 21 now, I gotta make sure I carry this number with pride and respect.
Thank you for listening to my speech about remembering Sean Taylor and how great of a person and player he was. It's very sad how he died. When we can all learn and to enjoy life to its fullest, because we only have one life to live and we never know when it's our last day.
Today we'll be talking about how we can save the unique black rhinos from going extinct. There are less than 80 in the world, so let's get into the lesson. Can you believe that electric tools are wiring into black rhino horns? Like almost the coolest horns. You could pretty much buy it on the internet. Now, the thing is, they're becoming almost extinct every day from being poached. Now, like I said, there's only less than 80 in the world. So I need you to listen because there are things that we could do to save these poorly, almost extinct black rhinos. I have to tell you something that's very awkward and weird, but I think it's funny. Did you know that black rhinos run on their toes? Anybody?
That's dope. What do you think? That's like, what I used to do.
And there's another thing that it's also pretty cool, but did you know that an adult is from 4.3 to 5.9 feet tall? And as y'all know, I'm actually kind of short. So I could actually be taller than a black rhino, so that makes me kind of happy. And so I'm going to show y'all a video, but I'm going to warn y'all, this video is sad and difficult to take in, but it's very important to see what's happening to rhinos.
Over the years, the poaching techniques have progressed from the bow and arrow and spear into using high-powered rifles, using helicopters, and using professionals such as vets and pilots to actually poach rhinos in Southern Africa, and we see it extending to other countries. So it's a high sophisticated trade that's in place and demand for rhino horn. Unfortunately, what we are seeing today, the kind of poaching, is what we call a syndicated poaching, where it's not just locally based, it's based in countries like Vietnam and Thailand, where criminal gangs have come together to drive the black market through connections.
Well, after that video, as y'all can see, it was kind of hard to watch, but it was by WWF program, and it displays the brutal truth of poaching. Do y'all want to know why they love selling horns for ivory? It's because they sell one horn on the black market for $60,000. Just for one. Now to put you to a test. Well, that's it for today. Did y'all have fun?
Yes!
Okay, good. Well, there's my presentation.